The Run Crew series continues with Zone Fitness Training Run Club. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Runway Podcast. I am your host, Kim. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. If you are a return listener, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you tuning in to the show week after week. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to the Runway Podcast on your favorite podcast app so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload a brand new episode. You can also go to therunwave.com. A little fly-up box will come in your face. Type in your email address, hit send, and I will also email you every time I upload a new episode. So you will be in the loop of all things the Run Wave. If you haven't already done so, be sure to get you some Run Wave merch. By you purchasing merch, it keeps this little podcast going because, you know, your girl pays for hosting, she pays for the website, we pay for all of that. So contributed to the show keeps this little engine going. And, you know, the merch is fly. It's not cheap. I get quality products, you know, the printing, the embroidery, everything's on point. So anything that you can do to support the Run Wave podcast, I appreciate you. Keeping the Run Crew series going, up next, we have a Houston-based run crew called Zone Fitness Training Run Club. Now, this club is actually run by a personal trainer. His name is Yancey. He is a personal trainer professionally. He went to school. He has a degree. He knows his stuff. So he decided to start a running club in the Houston area because, you know, there were no clubs that had people that looked like him. So he created a club of his own, and that club has just grown, and, you know, they've expanded over the years, and, you know, they're running and they're having fun while doing it. So let's get into my chat with Yancey right now. All right, please welcome Yancey of Zone Fitness Run Club to the Runway Podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going over in Texas there?
You know, the weather is bipolar here, so I would say warm with it being, you know, April, but I would be lying because it could be 70 degrees today and 40 degrees this weekend. So,
well,
you know,
y'all definition of warm is different from our definition of warm up here. So
yeah,
what's your definition of warm?
humidity. You know,
Okay.
that is the prime definition of what heat and warmth feels like here. I was just in Vegas this past weekend, and they had some really good weather, but you really got to see the difference between dry heat and humidity. Like it was
Yeah.
90 degrees there, but it felt perfect. You could stand outside. You didn't sweat. Here, 70 degrees, sweating. You got to go take a shower and everything just to, you know, just to feel better.
Now, what's going down in Vegas? Because everyone on my feed is in Vegas like the last 2 or 3 weeks. What's happening there?
Well, for me, it was my birthday. So my birthday was actually on
Oh,
Sunday. So my
okay.
birthday
Happy
was on
belated.
Easter, Easter Sunday. So I had been to Vegas once before, but I went for something, so I didn't really get to, you know, experience Vegas. So I was like, this would be a good time for me to go back and, you know, try it again and really kind of be a tourist and see what the city has to offer.
Now, how was it? Is Vegas like open, or it's like you can go here, can't
Open.
go there?
I feel like everybody decided to go to Vegas this past weekend. I feel like everyone, it was Easter, they got that extra day off, and everybody was like, "Hey, we're going to Vegas." Because
Well, you know, it's spring break. That's probably why there were a lot of people
yeah,
there as well.
yeah, it was definitely a lot of people. And one thing that I realized, or that I, you know, got reacquainted with, is how much people smoke. I didn't know people smoked that
Mm.
many cigarettes anymore. I thought cigarettes were kind of thought they were played out. Nah,
Cigarettes
Vegas.
are like the year 2000.
Yeah, exactly. But there, every, you know, on the street, in the casinos, It didn't matter where you were. It was just cigarette smoke everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I'm. You can smoke inside in Vegas.
Yes, sit right at the slot machines and smoke. So
Yeah, I don't think I could handle that.
yeah, so just yeah, like I said, I thought people had moved on to, you know, marijuana is legal now, vaping, all the different things that I thought cigarettes were a thing of the past, but yeah, Vegas reminded me that they are here and in full effect.
And cigarettes in New York, I think it's like $10 or $15 a pack. Like I don't know how people still
Yeah,
smoke these days.
that
It's
is an
crazy.
expensive vice to have. It's
Hmm.
cigarette smoking.
Surely is. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. So born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. Um, I graduated from high school and I never looked back. So I went away. I went away for college. I originally went to a school in West Virginia. I went to school to play football. So I went to
Hmm.
school at a school called Concord University in West Virginia. My first year, and then I came back in state and I went to a school in Chattanooga, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. So that's
Hmm.
where I came back and finished out my undergraduate degree. But when I left after graduation, I never moved back. After college, I stayed in Chattanooga for about 6 months, and then I moved to Houston, and that was back in 2011.
Wait, so what's wrong with Knoxville? Small town. Y'all
Have
got
you
hay bales going down the
have
road.
you
Like,
been to have you?
no.
No, actually, no. I'm not gonna paint that picture. So Knoxville is actually a city, right? So I've
Hmm.
never rode a horse. I never milked the cow. We have streets. We have malls. It's a it is a regular city. We have the ghetto, the hood, whatever. It's a
Hmm.
regular city. It's just opportunity. I'll say that is the I guess the least attractive thing for me. It was more so just the opportunity. Looking after I graduated from college, where could I
Hmm.
go that would have provide a lot of opportunity for me to do whatever it is I wanted to do. And yeah, Knoxville was not it, especially for us. So
Hmm.
I had to take my talents down to Texas, or bring my talents down to Texas.
So do you still have family there?
Oh, and they're all there, and none of them are going to move. So, so I have to. Unfortunately, I have to continue to go back to Knoxville, Tennessee, just to make
Dang,
sure.
Knoxville getting a bad rap over
Nah,
here.
but I love it. Like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love where I'm from. I love my people. I love the city. But as far as just what I was trying to do,
Hmm.
with my career, with my life, and all that good stuff, I couldn't do it there.
So what city are you in right now?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Y'all got hay
Houston.
bales going down the street there?
You'll find them somewhere. I mean, they not far. You go to the south side, you definitely can find horses. I've seen more horses here in Houston than I did in Knoxville, Tennessee. Believe it or not. And
Really?
Houston is a large city.
See, for us, like up north, like Tennessee and like Texas is like the same thing.
Same thing.
Like,
I know that's how
like
y'all feel.
we don't see it. Like I've been to Dallas, and it's like it's it was cool. You
Yeah.
know, they had good barbecue and things like that, but it was like not really a city. It's just like a town to me.
Dang. Well, I mean, so New York, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, every city, I guess besides LA, would seem that way. Because,
Hmm.
Houston is the fourth largest city. But I guarantee if you came here just the way that, we have we have areas where we have skyscrapers and, tall buildings. But for the most part, those are isolated areas. And then everything else is pretty much residential. So,
Hmm.
a lot of people here, millions of people here. But yeah, just the layout of the city looks a little different. A lot
Well,
different than New York.
and Texas is huge anyway. So Houston is the biggest city in Texas.
Yeah, yeah, city.
Oh,
Fourth,
okay.
fourth largest city in the nation.
In the nation. Hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of people here. It's spread out. Houston is I remember when I first moved to Houston, I felt and I was, out and trying to meet people and stuff like that. And it seemed like everybody I would meet lived on the complete opposite side of town. Like, like an hour away, an hour and 15 minutes away. And I was like, this is a city where you can live in the same city as someone, but be in a long distance relationship.
Just sounds like Atlanta.
Yeah, it's actually bigger than Atlanta. That's the thing.
Well, Atlanta's not big, but it takes to go like 5 minutes. It takes like 40 minutes to go 5 minutes.
The traffic in Atlanta is awful. And when people complain about traffic here, and I actually lived in Atlanta for a year and a half. So, when people complain about the traffic here, I tell them, yeah, you don't want to deal with that Atlanta traffic.
Yeah, they don't have nothing on Atlanta. So what is your undergrad degree in?
Exercise science. So, yeah, everything that I do is pretty much centered around, what I studied and what I was trying to do with, my career and stuff.
So you're a real trainer. You're not like an Instagram trainer.
I'm not a YouTube trainer or a social media trainer. Yeah, I actually went and, studied it for real. So, and not only do I have my degree in exercise science, but I mean, at this point, I kind of lost count, but I think I have over 10 certifications, just specializing in different areas of health and fitness. And that's from, I have, sports performance training to corrective exercise to group personal training to mixed martial arts conditioning. So it's just, youth conditioning. So it's just different little specializations that I have as well to kind of, broaden my scope when it comes to training.
So you're the real deal.
Yeah, I like to say that. And I'm pretty sure my clients will say the same thing as well.
So you're a personal trainer by profession.
Yeah.
Where do you train your clients? Are you at a gym? Do you go to their homes? How does that work?
So the way I do it is the training that I do for Zone Fitness Training. Now, since COVID, I actually ended up putting together a really nice home gym in my garage. So was able to put that together. That was one of the good things that, I can say came from COVID because it really did push me. All the gyms were shut down, so I really didn't have a place to, train my people. So that, forced me to kind of get out there and do that. So the clients that I have now through Zone Fitness Training, I train in my garage gym. And outside of that, I also do corporate health and wellness. So I work for a company called Exos. And Exos, they're real big and they're known for sports performance training. So Exos trains a lot of the athletes that go to the combine. So all those athletes that you see that go to the NFL combine, probably 80% of those athletes in preparation for that combine train with Exos. So not only do they do sports performance training, but they moved over into the corporate health and wellness realm. So with that, they have contracts with different companies like Shell or Google or Microsoft or BP, just big corporations. And they manage the fitness facilities that those companies have for their employees and contractors. So the last contract that I was on before we shut down I was at Shell. So going to Shell, 40 hours a week and managing their fitness facility that they have for their employees.
Mm-hmm. Now, how is that having clients come to your house? Like, I know it's Texas. Like in New York, I like,
yeah. That's the thing. The people are different here. It's just a different way of life compared, Houston compared to New York. People a lot more, they're friendlier, they're more hospitable, that Southern hospitality and all that good stuff. I'll say one of the best things about it is I don't have to drive anywhere. So
that's convenient.
My clients, they text me when they're here. I just got to come down, open the garage up, and then we get to our session. So that cuts down on a lot of, me being in traffic and having to, commute and stuff like that to work. So that's one of the best parts about it. But people here, they're good people here. So, and then all of them, I've been knowing them. Some of my clients I've been training for years. So, we have a relationship to where they could, we do stuff outside of training as well. So yeah, that's not bad at all.
So how did you get into running?
Um, Now that is actually a funny question because, believe it or not, I tell people this all the time and they don't believe me, but I do not like running. It is something that I kind of stumbled upon. Uh, I tell people I like being in shape, and running is one of the best ways for me to accomplish that goal. But it was one of those things that after college, football was a thing of the past. There was no NFL. There was no any of that. So, I was in this space. I was in this space where I was working out, but I didn't feel like I had a goal. It was just like working out was just a part of what I did. But I didn't, I was in shape. Most people, the things that people work out for, I had that, like, a flat stomach, and I had those things, but I needed something. I needed a challenge. I needed something that was out of my comfort zone, something that I wasn't good at, something that I didn't grow up doing. So running, became that thing. And I remember initially when I started, it was like, if you got me to run a mile, that was at my mile. Don't ask me to run anything else. This is good. This is more than most people do. And then, just over time, I gradually just started challenging myself. Like, well, if I did a mile, let me see if I could do a mile and a quarter. And then that mile and a quarter turned into 2 miles. And then that 2 miles turned into 3. So it was just one of those things where it kind of just snowballed as it got, I'll say, easier for me because I was doing it more often.
I think that's a lot of people's stories because that's like, I don't love running either. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
I enjoy the benefits that
exactly.
I get from it. But if I had a choice
Exactly.
between running 10 miles or, eating a pizza, I would eat the pizza.
Exactly. and it's crazy that you say that because, like I said, with people knowing that I started a run club and I lead a run club, when I tell people that, they can't understand what I mean when I say I don't like running, but I have a run club. So it's good to, hear that from other people that have that same experience.
Yeah, because they're like, some people are just built for running. Like that's in their DNA. That's what they do. They can get up and run 10 miles a day and it doesn't faze them. Other people have to work at it. And, we develop some sort of love-hate relationship with it. But, the benefits outweigh the cons.
You speaking of, like, some people are just built. That's how I am with, like, football or basketball. Like, those were my sports. I'll play football until I can play football no more. It's just something I really enjoy doing. But running is just one of those things I really had to grow into it. And then what kind of pushed me over the edge and, inspired me to kind of start a run club is I knew that I needed to do this with other people. Like, if I was going to continue this journey, I needed other people to do this with me because, running by yourself it's
not fun.
I just don't even have words to explain how awful running by yourself is. So it was just one of those things where it was just like, I got to find a way to get other people to do this with me. So that's kind of what, inspired me to start the run club.
So Zone Fitness is your training.
Yeah, Zone Fitness training, yeah.
And then you added the run club onto that, which is like separate but similar but separate,
Yeah.
And, one of your members, Jasmine, she hit me up like a couple months ago and she said, you got to she was singing your praises, she's like, you got to have him on the show. And, she hit me up again recently and I was like, okay, I gotta talk to this guy so I can, get the lowdown on the Houston run scene. Yeah. So what made you want to parlay and start the run club?
So
I know you said running with other people, but
running with other people, and it's crazy to think now. Like, I started, Zone Fitness training, the personal training part of it back in 2012, right? And I moved to a couple cities. I was in Houston, I was in DC, I was in Atlanta, and then I moved back to Houston. In all of those cities, I did the personal training part of it in some way with ZFT. Never did I think that the thing that would make Zone Fitness training most popular would be a run club. I thought I was going to be, this trainer and I was going to have all these clients and they're going to get, results, and then the training aspect would be what made the name for Zone Fitness Training. And lo and behold, here we are now. Most people know of Zone Fitness Training through the Run Club. So it's definitely one thing that I am glad that I started. But like I said, what made me want to actually do it, actually, I'll take that back. When I was living in Atlanta, that's when I first got into the running. And that's when I was doing my a mile and a quarter. I realized that I needed to do this with other people, so I was directed to a run club in Atlanta called Movers and Pacers. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
I have.
But yeah, so I was directed to a run club called Movers and Pacers when I was in Atlanta. I knew a girl. She was a part of it. Her name is Tiara. She was, telling me about it. Come out, come out, come out. You know how that is when you first start. People telling you, and you're like, I don't want to run with other people. I'm just starting and all this good stuff. But then I finally went out, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the vibe of it. I enjoyed seeing other people that looked like me that were on this same journey. Because this is a thing that we see other people do, but it's not it's not something that we take up. It's not something that we get in, and something that we enjoy, and something that we do. So it was good to see that I wasn't the only person on this path to get into distance running. So it was good that, and then the main thing that I liked is when you went there, they had routes. So depending on your fitness level, or depending on what you want to do, you could run different mileages. So we ran through Midtown. We started at Atlantic Station, ran through Midtown, and they will say, if you want to run a mile, you'll turn right on 5th Street and come back. If you want to run 2 miles, you'll make a right on 10th Street and come back. If you want to run 3, you'll turn on 15th and come back. So, that kind of gave you something to aspire to do. Maybe I'll do, a mile this time and see how I feel. And then if not, I'll, if I feel good, I'll just keep working my way up to 3 miles. And then they also had long distance runners, like they would run like 6, 7 miles. At that time, that was crazy to me. So that was something I never thought I would do. But I liked the way that they had it set up. I liked the people. So right after I joined that Movers and Pacers, I think maybe 2 to 3 months later, I ended up moving back to Houston. So it was one of those things where I was like, dang, I was getting into it. I was really enjoying these people and working my way up. Now I moved to Houston, and I couldn't find a run club like that. Everything I looked up, was for others, but I couldn't really find something that was catered to us. So I remember talking to one of my buddies, and I was telling him about it and how I want to continue to running, but I didn't know any run clubs. And he was just straight up like, you should start one. Like, if you want it, this is something that you want, just start it. So I thought about it for probably about a month, and then I was like, you're right. Like, I should start it. But at that time, like I said, I don't even think I had ran a race at that time. I don't even think I even ran 3 miles at that time. But I just knew it was something, if I wanted it, I needed to start it. And, here we are almost 4 years later.
So you started in what year?
2017. 2017. Yeah, Juneteenth weekend of 2017.
So it's interesting to hear you say that in Houston, because, there's not a lot of Black folks running, period. I mean, we discover each other eventually, over time. But I thought that Houston was a city that was heavily, I'm sure it is heavily populated with Black people, but were Black people just not running in the city?
Exactly. It's plenty of Black people here. That's definitely not the problem. It was just more so, just not in that space. But since I've started the run club, I'll start to find different run clubs. Like I probably about 2 years after we started the run club, I found out about Black Men Run, which I, when I was looking for a run club, couldn't find it. But, now that we're started up and we have a good relationship with them, one of the guys, Terry, is a real good liaison that, he runs with us. He's a captain for them. So he kind of keeps that bridge between us and them. And then, just finding out about these different run clubs. But like I said, when I first was trying to find a run club, couldn't find it. So that's what, led me to go ahead and start ZFT Run Club.
Hmm. So I know you started the club because there weren't running clubs for people that look like you. But what is the makeup of your club now, like race wise, gender wise?
99%.
99.
99.5% African American. We do have we have, like two white people that run with us. But they're real cool. But yeah, majority, like I said, 99.5% of our run club is African American.
And you know what? That is okay
Yeah, it
because
is.
when I was looking for run clubs, I found one black running club and
Yeah.
all the other clubs are white. So if I
Mm-hmm.
joined their club, I would have been that 0.1%,
Before them,
you know?
exactly. Exactly.
So that's okay, and it's good that you didn't have what you needed in your town and you created it,
Yeah.
because that's the story of. I had someone ask me recently. He was looking at the Run Crew series and he said, "I wish I had this where I live." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Create it."
Yep.
You're not the only person out there. There's other people out there that are probably thinking the same way that you
Yep.
are. It only takes one person to run around the neighborhood
That's
for
it.
someone to say, "Can I run with you?"
That's it.
So
And that's
that's
pretty much what it was. It was just one of those things where it was just like, I tell people I didn't have any experience with running like that. And then when I first started the run club, I pretty much just used the model that movers and pacers had. So that was pretty just like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know I like that, so other people may like that. Over time we've evolved, and we're probably a totally different run club than they are now. But at
mm-hmm.
that time, that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. I was like, this is what got me into it. So hopefully, this is something that other people would enjoy too. So that's pretty much how we were in the beginning, just that, and then over time it evolved to now, where as a club we're running our what fifth or sixth half marathon as a club, and our last half marathon, which was in October, we actually ran the Houston half, and we had about, I want to say, 65 to 70 members run
Wow.
the actual 13.1 miles. And
The
these
half
are people
marathon.
that have never, most of these people didn't play sports growing up, so they don't even have an athletic background. And,
Mm-hmm.
if you asked them a year ago, they never would have thought that they would be running 13.1 miles. But we were able to, convince people, convince 65 people, black people at that, to run
Mm.
a half marathon. And I think that is one of our, I'll say as of now, one of our biggest accomplishments. Like we actually, they actually do a trophy for the biggest team. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually ended up winning that trophy. And I remember when we first ran that race in 2018, we've ran that race 3 times. The first time we ran it, we had 6 people from our run club run it, right? And I remember we joined, we had our little team. It was a little 6 of us. And I remember looking at the leaderboard because they have fastest times and all that stuff. And I remember seeing these other run clubs, and they had 25 people, 30 people, 35 people on their team. And I remember thinking to myself, how did they get 25 people to run this half marathon? Like it at the time, because I had to get these, it was 6 including me. So it was hard for me to just get these 5 people to run with me, let alone I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at this board and y'all have 45 people from your run club that have ran that race. So every year we ran it, we doubled our numbers. So like the next year we had about 15 people that ran it. And then the next half marathon we had about 25. And then just like every time we ran a half, we just doubled the numbers, because I think it was one of those things where people seen that it was possible. And they
Mm-hmm.
seen people that looked like them actually achieve the goal. Because it's easy for them
Mm-hmm.
to look at me and, see that I came from this athletic background. I've been playing sports my whole life. But when they seen people that was their same height and their same build and their same size and had their same experiences actually run it, that kind of inspired them. So it's like every time we crossed that finish line, we had more people to join and, look into running that 13 miles.
Mm-hmm. So Houston had an in-person race in October.
No, so with that, they did not. So what we did is we put on our own because
Oh.
when we started training for it, um, I want to say it might have been in person or something like that, but they, quickly they ended up
Mhm.
canceling it or turning it into a virtual race. But by that time,
Mhm.
we had convinced all these people to run. We had
Mhm.
convinced all these people to run. So we was like, we got to give them an experience. We don't want them to, everybody to be trying to run this race by themselves and doing it on their
Mhm.
own. So we literally went to a park. It's a park that we run at a lot. It's a very popular park here. It's called Memorial Park, and here the running trails are all connected through the city. So once you learn the trails, you can literally run those trails and run a marathon because they're all connected. You just have to kind of learn them. But we run at different parks, and since they're all connected, when we run the routes, we learn how to connect those trails to make longer,
Mhm.
make the mileage longer. So we basically went to Memorial Park. We had learned all the trails. We pretty much mapped out 13 miles. We had like we got a banner, we got a DJ out there. Like we literally like put on our own race, so that way they can get some experience because a lot of people that was their first time attempting that 13 miles. So we wanted to kind of be like something for them since they couldn't experience a live race.
Mhm. That's dope because everything was canceled in 2020. So for you to be
Yeah.
able to put that together and have people to come out to,
Mm-hmm.
accomplish their goal and have something else to look forward to because hopefully they can do that race
Yep.
this year if it happens.
Exactly. So we're training for a race now, which will be running on May 2nd. We're training for another half marathon, and as of now, and hopefully it'll stay that way because of vaccines and stuff that are going out. It's in person. So
Mhm.
we have people in our run club that have ran 2 half marathons and have never ran one in person.
Hmm.
So
Now that's crazy
yes,
because like you how did you do? Did you have water stations set up or did
yeah.
people
So
carry their own
yeah.
stuff? Like what did you
So we
do?
had people like some people, they would come out and run with us, but they just weren't ready to run the 13. So they were
Mhm.
like, well, I'll come out, I'll volunteer, I'll give people water. So we had people standing at certain points on the trail. We set up a table like at the halfway mark, and we had
Mhm.
people, like I said, that weren't ready to run the 13, and other people, their significant others came out, like their husbands and wives, and people like that came out and kind of help facilitate. Even on the trail, we'll have people like parts where it got tricky. If you didn't know to go right or left, we'll have people standing there and they'll cheer them on and tell them to go to the right and stuff like that. So it was just run club members that didn't run the race and people's spouses and stuff came out to help out.
And you know what? You set people up for success because if they're doing a race that's not put on by, a race director and a whole crew, once they have that experience, then they'll
Exactly.
probably be hooked and, they want to
Exactly.
continue to do it over and over again.
Exactly. So
So what's your structure of the club? Do you have like captains, coaches, who leads your runs? 'Cause I know you can't do it all.
so I have
Or
what
do
I
you?
call I have an exec board. So that was one thing I had to learn early on. I was trying to be that person to
Mhm.
do everything and all that, and then it was one of those things where I had to realize that you can't do all this by yourself. So I put together an exec board. So when it comes to that, speaking about that race, they were a big part of putting that together. With their resources, with their people, with their time, and all that type of stuff. They were a big part of us being able to put that on. But yeah, I make majority of the runs. I probably make 99% of the runs. But like for instance, this past weekend when I went to Vegas, I had some of my exec board members, lead the runs and stuff that we had this weekend.
Mhm. I was scrolling through your Instagram and it looks like for like most of 2020, you guys were like
Active.
yeah, like I'm like, did y'all stop it at all during
Nope.
2020? Like,
We sure did
how
not.
did you motivate people and get them to come out like during a
Actually,
pandemic?
actually, COVID was probably one of the best things that happened to our run club because what
Mm-hmm.
it did is it eliminated a lot of distractions that people had. They couldn't go out, they couldn't party, they couldn't, they couldn't do a lot of the things that they were used to doing. So a big way for them to get that social aspect was to come to the run club. Like a lot of people, like I said, we put in work, we run these races, we put in these miles, but we also have a lot of fun together. You
Oh,
know,
I saw the dancing.
yeah, yeah, we have a lot of fun together, and a lot of people have made friends, like really good friends to our run club. So even though it is a run club, it is also, part and part a social club as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was kind of a social outlet for a lot of people. And then, we set a standard. We say it, but we don't really say it. It's like no run, no fun. So that's kind of like our
Mm-hmm.
motto. Like, we're going to turn up. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to party. We're going to, I don't drink, but they're going to drink. They're going to do whatever they want to do. We're going to have a lot of fun together, but you have to earn it. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just come around when we're having fun, and then when we're out grinding and sweating and, you know, contemplating life with these runs, you're nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I felt like that in turn built our bond. It made the run club stronger, and it made people buy into what we were doing. And then they also would invite their friends once they were able to buy into what we were doing. So I'll say, like I said, COVID was actually one of the best things that could happen for us because it slowed everything down. And,
Mm-hmm.
with us still being active, it pulled a lot of people in our direction.
Mm-hmm. Now, having a personal trainer as the club's founder has to be beneficial to your members. So, how do
Yeah.
you incorporate your training expertise into your group workouts? Do your members benefit from you being a personal trainer?
Oh yeah, for sure. So that is one thing that I stress to them, a lot. And it's one thing that you don't really know when you first start running, that strength training is just as important as the
Mm-hmm.
running, because with the running, it's stressful. It is stressful on your body in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways. So if your body isn't durable, you'll break down. Like you'll get these injuries and all that type of stuff. So a lot of them, they experience these things, and I'm able to help them. But I'm also able to funnel a lot of the run club members into my strength training program. And when they do that, I mean, exponential growth. That they were running for a year with knee pain, and when they started training with me, knee pain is gone. So now it's one of those things they're telling other people. They're like, hey, you got to start training with Yancey because my knee used to be hurting me. Every time we would run 6 miles or more, my knee would be throbbing. Ever since I've been training with him, like I literally, and with that, it makes their experience with running so much better. Like it makes
Mm-hmm.
them want to do it more because now they're not dealing with pain. Now they can get through a 6 mile run and not feel like their body is about to fall apart. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things. I stress it, not only strength training but also recovery. When it comes, like they'll tell you, I give them this spiel after every run: foam rolls, stretch, ice. Make sure you strength training at least twice a week, especially with your lower body. After every run, I give them that spiel, and it takes some of them longer than others to take heed to what I'm saying. But once they do, it makes the experience so much better, and that makes them want to be a part of the strength training program.
You know what? I can't stand foam rolling. And I don't know if it's because my foam roller is like a torture device. It's not one of those smooth ones. It has like the bumps in it.
Oh, that's the best one.
That
You got
it
the best one.
hurts.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
hurts.
hate it.
It hurts now. Just like, I mean, look at it like running. Like when you first ran 2 miles, it hurt, right? But
Oh, it
then,
hurt tremendously.
yeah, but now 2 miles is like a warm up to you. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
foam rolling is the same thing. Initially, it's going to be. I remember the first time I did it. I think I might have cried. I think some tears might have came down the first
It
time I did it.
hurts.
But now it's my best friend. Like I foam roll every day. But it's just once you get rid of
Really?
the tightness and all that type of stuff, it feels a lot better.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to work out after I worked out because foam rolling is like another workout,
Yeah,
right? You got to sit there and do it for like another 10 or 15 minutes and like
yeah,
I'm done. I don't want to foam roll.
yep.
I stretch.
Nah, you got to get that foam roll. That foam roll is gonna be, like I said, once you get over that hump, and it probably takes about 2 weeks if you do it
Hmm.
consistently. By the second week, it won't be as painful as it is, and then like I said, you'll start noticing that your body just feels better. So I would definitely encourage you to fight through those 2 weeks and get past that hump.
We'll see. Maybe I'll dust it off and give it a try
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Pull it out the closet.
So you started a Zone Fitness in Dallas.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Oh, that was another thing that happened during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks ago, the last weekend in March, we actually celebrated 31-year anniversary. So that started, February, March. We couldn't pinpoint the exact week that it started, so we just chose March
Mm-hmm.
27th as their anniversary. But I think it might have started a few weeks earlier than that. But yeah, that started in 2020. And what happened with that is it was a guy that was a real big. We call him. He was like a recruiter. Like he was one of the big reasons that a lot of people came out to the Run Club because he's a real personal guy. His name is Theo. Real personable guy. People loved him. Just a real big personality, and he was
Mm-hmm.
able to get a lot of people to come out. So what happened is he ended up getting a job, ended up getting a new job that relocated him to Dallas.
Oh.
So with him having to move up there, you know, it was one of those things. He wanted to continue running as well, kind of similar to my story. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to continue running as well. He got up there. I think with COVID, a lot of the run clubs up there were shut down, weren't really doing things. So,
Mm-hmm.
he hit me up and was just like, man, I think this would be a good opportunity for us to start a run club up here. We can pretty much follow the same blueprint that you used in Houston. So we talked about it. We got some stuff together, and then he hit the ground. He hit the ground and got people, and it just grew. It just grew. It just grew, and it was really good for him and the Dallas club because Dallas really has a good running community up there,
Mm-hmm.
more so than
Mm-hmm.
Houston. Like it was, it was a lot of when we were looking into the different run clubs. It was a lot of them, not just for white people, but it was a lot of black run clubs up there.
Oh yeah, I ran
Yeah.
a race in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
their running
Mm-hmm.
community was great. So
Mm-hmm.
what benefited him is that a lot of those run clubs weren't running. So
Mm-hmm.
those people wanted, they itching, they want to get out. So when he started, ZFT Dallas, that we kind of, free agents and brought them in, and they came in. And, we like I said, we use the same structure, the same setup that we have here in Houston, and it worked. It worked, and they've grown tremendously over the last year. I want to say they're almost at 100 members
Wow.
as of now, in just a year, and that's with
How
other run clubs.
how far is Houston from Dallas?
Like 3.5 hours, 4 hours, depending on how you drive.
Oh, that's not so bad.
So it's not far at all. So, like I said, we meet up with them, especially during our training seasons. So we try to run 2 half marathons a year. So during those seasons, we call them training seasons. We'll try to run with each other at some point, and we call them the ZFT invitationals. So like
Mm-hmm.
they'll come down here, and we do assessment runs throughout the training. So we'll do a 5K assessment just as we'll start with a 5K assessment. We'll train for a few weeks. We'll do another one just to see, people's improvement. And we try to do those with each other. So we'll invite them down to Houston and we'll all do that 5K assessment together. Then we'll train for a few more weeks and then we'll do a 10K assessment. Then we'll go up to Dallas and run with them. And then we'll run the half marathon together. So,
Mm-hmm.
we run with them. It's literally like a big family. They know us. We know them. We party together, all that good stuff. But their run club has its own personality. But all in all, we're like just a big family. So it's one of those things where, like I said, 2020 definitely helped with not only growing the Houston chapter, but we are able to start a whole nother chapter in Dallas, and it's grown tremendously as well.
So, how would you categorize the club? Are you like a social club? Do you have your competitive fast runners? Are you a mixture for both or walkers welcome? Who is the zone runner?
It is every pace. Like that is honestly our one of our slogans when we tell people, especially new people, is run your own race. We're gonna have super fast people that can run 20-minute 5Ks. And then we're going to
Mm-hmm.
have people that take 45 minutes. But the way we have it set up is we make it comfortable for everyone because no matter if you're a fast runner or if you're a slow runner, we all finish together. So we all
Mm-hmm.
start at the same spot, we all end at the same spot. And if it takes me 20 minutes to run a 5K and it takes you 45 minutes, I'm going to wait 25 minutes for you to finish. And we're going to clap you in at the end. And we're going to make sure everybody stretches together and all that good stuff. So I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that kind of helps, people that aren't athletic or don't come from a background of running. It makes them feel comfortable because they're like, no matter how long it takes me, they're going to sit here and wait for me. And they're going to cheer me in and motivate me and all that good stuff. So, yeah, ZFT is a mixture of runners, a mixture of personalities. I'll say that.
Always is.
Yeah, it's a mixture of personalities. It's a mixture of work. It's a mixture of fun. It's just a really good space for Black people to be in. And when it comes to our health and our fitness, it makes that space safe. That's the best way that I can describe it. When it comes to fitness, you don't really have to worry about where you are, because if you want to get better, we're going to give you all the tools, all the motivation, all the education to get better if you really want to do it. But if you don't, we're not going to drag, we're not going to pull you kicking and screaming either. But whenever you're ready, our doors are always going to be open. Our arms are always going to be ready to receive you. And like I said, whether you're an elite runner or a novice runner, you have a place in ZFT.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm in the Houston or Dallas area, how do I link up with Zone Fitness so I can get my runs in? Where do y'all meet?
So that really depends on if we're in season or not. So in season, we meet more often. So we meet 3 times a week, and we try to spread it out. So we try to put it on our Instagram. We could actually do a better job at that. But yeah, just a lot of people when they're in town, they just DM us, and we have a couple people looking at those DMs and stuff, trying to answer back with people as fast as they can. So yeah, most of the time people are DMing or they're being invited out by somebody that either knows about Zone Fitness training. They may not even run with Zone Fitness, but if somebody says that they want to get a run in, somebody's most likely going to say, hey, you should check out ZFT and run with them. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be running sometime this weekend. So yeah, Instagram is probably the best way to figure out where we are, what we're doing, and get in touch with us.
Okay. So I wanted to finish up by you telling me about your Zony Awards.
Yeah.
I saw your post about that. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So what
Yeah.
made you want to do your
So
Zony? Tell me what it is and what made you want to start this awards for your members.
Do you watch The Office? Please tell me yes.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I have my weird friends that watch it though,
Oh,
and they talk about it all the time, but
the
no.
best. Listen, The Office is one of the best shows ever. I'm just gonna put that.
That's what they say too, but
it is. But I will say this: The Office, you have to watch it from the beginning. You can't come in on a random episode because it's not going to make sense. But if you start it from the beginning, it's one of those shows that you'll grow to love. But the Zonies were inspired by an award show that they did on The Office, and they worked for a company called Dunder Mifflin. So they had an award show called the Dundies. That's what that was the name of their award show. And it was an award show where it awarded things that were like unconventional. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the best worker or best attendance or most sales. It was just funny stuff like, the best red hair and a redhead in the office or it was just like silly little things where y'all can come together and kind of celebrate each other. But it wasn't like this thing where we're all fighting to be this one, to be the MVP or this type of thing. So we put it together, and it was, like I said, it was just a way to celebrate, the stuff that we've done over the years. Celebrate people that, bought into what we were doing and, improved. People that committed themselves to ZFT, because you have people that come in and out, but you have people that are there every run. So we kind of wanted just to find a way to kind of just recognize these people and let them know that ZFT appreciated, because without our members, I mean, we're nothing. So the first year we put it together, and we had silly categories like, I know one of them was the Glass House Award, and that was like the person that stayed hurt all the time, like stuff like that. And we had other ones like, we have an MVP award. We have like the biggest comeback award, and we also have an award called the GPS award. It's like the person that gets lost on every run. Like every time they run, we trying to figure out where they are because they done got lost on the trail. So it's just, stuff like that. And we have the members vote on. We put like a Google doc in there with where people can vote, and we have everybody vote on it, and then we give people plaques and medals and stuff like that if they win. So it's just a fun way, like I said, to end the year. We do it in December. We always do a race like the second week in December, and we do it the zonies that night to kind of close out the year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, we try to make it fun. We try to be different and innovative to kind of make it, so it's not redundant. It's not repetitive, and, we're not going through the motions. So, we also started another thing. We actually did it this year. We have a relay race that we run, and that was something we started this year. So we kind of group the teams together depending on fast and slow people to make them even. And we do, we call it the winter relays and the summer relays. So it's a way for you to kind of meet people that you don't normally talk to, and y'all have to become a team and try to beat other people. So it's just different little things we try to put together to make people comfortable with each other, but also make it fun.
Mm-hmm. So tell everyone where they can find you on socials so they can follow you, hit you up if they're in the Houston or Dallas area to run or train with you as well.
So the best way is Instagram for us. So it'll be at Zone Fitness Training. Zone, Zone, Fitness, Fitness, and then training. So that'll be the best way. We also have Facebook and all those things, but Facebook is kind of, it's not.
You're the second person that said that.
Facebook, I liked it better when it was just for college students, but that's not for me to be. But
everybody's playing Facebook now. Wow.
So, Instagram will probably be the best place. Like
I get it.
You'll be able to see majority of what we do, what we offer our members, and races and all that type of stuff. And you can also send us an email, and that's zonefitnesstraining@gmail.com. So between those two, somebody should be able to respond and send you in the right direction. And that's if you're in Houston or if you're in Dallas.
So how do you communicate with your members?
So we have a group meet. So we have a group meet chat.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad that you asked that. So with the group meet chat, that's another thing. No run, no fun, right? So we do a lot of our coordinating and events and stuff in that group meet. So people that are part of that group meet, they know about everything that we're doing firsthand. So with that, and we actually just did this. I think the Dallas Club did it a couple days ago, and we did ours yesterday. We do purges, right? So if you're not coming out,
you get kicked out.
You get kicked out. That's just one of those things. When we try to, but it's not it's not to discourage people or to tell people that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. It's just more so a thing because, like I said, we do a lot of fun things, and if we allow those people to sit in there, and we found it that they won't come to any runs, but if we do a party, if we do a this, or if we do a
I got those people too.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
They show up, right? They're there. So it was one of those things, like I said, to reinforce our no run, no fun mottos. One of those things, like if you're not coming out, and it's not even that you have to come out. It's just one of those things, like you just have to be active. Like if you want to we have members that literally do every run. They train for the half marathons and do every run by themselves, right? But they post it in the group. They come in, they say good morning every once in a while, Not saying that you got to talk in the group me a lot. Not saying that you have to come to every run. Not even saying that you have to run a half marathon. It's just we need to know. We want to know who you are. We want to, we want to meet you. We want to make you a part of the family. So, like I said, members are part of the run club. I mean, the run club group me, but you have to come to a run to get added to that group. So once you come out to a run one time, we add you to the group me. Now you part of the family.
See, my club is the same way. We have an unofficial group chat, right? And
Yeah.
you can't get in the chat unless you know someone in the chat
Yeah.
who knows the founder of the chat to let you in the chat.
Oh yeah, now y'all exclusive. Y'all real exclusive. All right, yeah, our run club is just you just got to come out. You come out to a run, and that's what we announce that at the end of our runs. We'll ask our new people. If this is your first time coming, tell us where you're from. How who invited you out, and then we'll add them to the group chat. But if that's the only time they come out, we'll see you. So, but like I said, it's not a way. It's not to discourage people or to call people out. It's more so just a motivating factor because people know that it's a family. They know that we are getting better in more aspects than just fitness. We talk about relationships. We talk about finances. I mean, we talk about it all. But like I said, we also are a social club in a sense. So people want to be a part of that because it really is a good thing. It's just that some people, it takes them longer to grasp that it is a run club first, right? I know we do all these other things and but at the end of the day, the basis of this group or this family is running. So it takes some people a little bit longer to grasp that aspect. But once they get it and they really jump in and not 1 foot in, not 1 foot out, but they really dive in and try to get better with the running, I think that makes the overall experience for everybody better.
Yancey's like, y'all gonna get these miles in first.
You got to.
And then we gonna party later. Yeah. But you gonna get these miles in.
Because at the end of the day, we are a run club. No matter what you see us doing, outside of that, brunching and party, we do all that as well. But you got to run because we are a run club first. So yeah.
I hear that. All right. So I want to thank Yancey for being on the Run Wave podcast. I will leave all of your socials, your email, all of that in the show notes so people can follow you. They can come out to a run. If I ever get to Houston, link up with you guys and come out and run with you guys as well. So I could get my cha-cha. What dance y'all do down there? Y'all do the cha-cha side.
I don't
Those
know.
line dances. Yeah. I know like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Those differentiated ones with the new steps, I can't do those.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll hop in on the line dance.
What is the name of your run club? Because I don't think
I'm a member of Adidas Runners.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they're like a global run club, but
because we actually use the Adidas running app. That's actually the app that we use as a run
you
club.
Do?
Yeah, we actually use the Adidas running app. So I've seen it on there. And it's what chapter or what club is it or area?
Well, I'm a member of the New York City club. Okay. In the States, they only have New York City and LA.
Got you.
And then they have, global all over the world. Yeah. You go to Europe, you'll find an Adidas Runners group, in whatever city you go to. But right now in the States, just New York City and LA. So that's who. And we haven't ran in over a year anyway. So I don't know if I'm still in the club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know Adidas. They're not taking them chances. They
don't want to get sued.
Yeah, they got
so
too much
it's like,
they got too much to lose. That's definitely understandable.
Yeah, so our last group run was like in March of last year. Yeah, right before COVID hit. So they're slowly trying to come back. So hopefully in the next few months they'll get something going.
But, oh yeah. So whenever y'all come back, I'll make a trip to New York just to run. I mean, I want to go back to New York anyway. I've only been once. So I want to come in the summer. I came in the winter. Oh my God.
Well, you know what? For like running, you either come in May for the Brooklyn Half Marathon, which is not happening this year, or you come in November for the New York City Marathon because that we have like we run but we party too on big stuff on those two occasions. So if the New York City Marathon happens this year, which I don't think it will, but people are trying to stay optimistic, then that November is like, it's not cold yet because it's just like the beginning of November. So it's comfortable still.
Yeah, I can't.
Although we might get hit with a snowstorm out of the blue, but that happens once in a while. You never know. But
I came to celebrate New Year's.
Oh no, that you don't come then.
So I want to.
That's the wrong time to come.
Yeah, I want to come back when it's a little warmer. So, if I can get a run in as well.
And you don't want to come in the summer either, because it gets hot in New York in the summer, like that Houston high with that humidity.
Y'all, that concrete. Hot. Y'all, them buildings and concrete up there.
Listen, you know what? The summer is like, and we have to train for our marathon and New York City Marathon in the summer, so it's like torture. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I say early fall or for the New York City Marathon is a great time to come. That you'll have enjoy your running community in New York. It'll be good.
Okay, yeah. I'll definitely try to get up there for that. And if I do, I would be sure to shout you a holler.
Of course. I would love to take you on a run around the city and, show you how we do things up north.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
All right. So thank you again for being on the show.
All right. Appreciate you for having me out, Kim.
Of course. All right. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Yancey of Zone Fitness Training Run Club. They are in the Houston and Dallas, Texas areas. So if you are in those areas and you're looking for a crew to run with, definitely check them out. If you're visiting the areas, hit them up on Instagram. I will have all of their details down below. So while you're on the road, you have someone to run with. And that's why I am enjoying bringing this Run Crew series to you, because we are just making connections all over, the United States and the world. So when we travel, when we're in another state, when we're away from home, we have someone that we can run with. So thank you again for tuning in to this episode of the Runway podcast. Be sure to come back next week while I have a brand new Run Crew story to tell you, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Later. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe to The Runway on your favorite podcast app and leave us a review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It would really help me out. If you are a runner that has a story to tell and you would like to be on the show, you can email hello@therunwave.com or send us a DM on Instagram to The Run Wave. See you next time.